Shalom, shalom. Kal halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Kakodash. Double honor to the apostles and those great millstone and well. And salutations to the brethren on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word in truth and sincerity. This is Ira, coming at you with another lesson. I want to speak on the topic of brotherhood for a brief moment, because now more than ever, as the time starts to wind down and the prophecies start to come to pass, and as we're seeing, the World War III is beginning to culminate. Well, not beginning to culminate, but it's starting to stir up more and more. We're going to come to times where we're not going to be around each other often. Maybe never, there are going to come times where brothers are going to have to separate, where all hell's going to break loose, and you might never see each other again, until, Lord willing, we meet in the chariots, and so what I want, what should happen is brothers shouldn't take the brotherhood for granted, Brothers shouldn't be looking at each other with an evil eye, holding grudges. Brothers shouldn't be trying to defraud one another. Brothers should be coming together more and more and as often as possible in the spirit, because as we all know, as you treat a brother is the same way that you're treating Yahushua, because that man could be a man of the Lord. He could be of the elect, So we have to watch how we treat each other, what we say to each other, and how we conduct ourselves around one another, to one another, This is Psalms 133:1. It says, "A song of degrees of David. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell in unity, together in unity." Slakia. When you look at together in unity, meaning as one body, as one being, That's why when you read in Romans the 12th chapter, Paul speaks about the Lord having a body, that the truth is likened unto a body, and everybody has to work together, And as brothers that dwell in unity, and being around each other, we start to learn each other's spirits, how we do things, what certain brothers like, what certain brothers dislike. So it's easy to work together as a unit, when, as the American military does. Even the American military doesn't just send men out on the battlefield, man. The American military, put you in boot camp, and you fight and you grow with other, with other recruits, and you're sent somewhere, might be stationed somewhere, and you live together, in the same barracks or in the same station. And then when it's time to fight and go out to war, you go out to war, because it's better to have a morale with each other than fighting alongside a stranger, So you fight harder when you're fighting along somebody that you know and that you love, and that you see every day and that you're fond of, Just like now, when it comes to the men of the Lord, when it comes to the elect, we are in a spiritual battle. We are in a war, and it's easier to fight alongside somebody that you know and that you love than somebody that you don't know and you don't know what their true motives or their interests are, And we all know that men of the Lord, our interests are to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So that's what brings us all together, And that's a beautiful thing. And that's why the Lord said it's pleasant, because it's easier to get a lot more things done in the Lord than doing it by yourself, man. And when you dwell together in unity, when you do things together, when you do lessons together, when you do the work, you start to grow a stronger bond, man. And it's harder for those demons to touch you, And when it comes to conducting yourself, to a brother, Matthew 25th chapter, I think, is the best explanation for that, because it basically tells you to treat your brother how you would treat Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, This is Matthew chapter 25, verse 34. It says, "Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was an hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in." Now, that first verse 34 says, "Come and inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation or the beginning of the world." There's a kingdom waiting on the other side for the elect, man. Because we have done our best by Yahweh Shai. It says, "For I was hungered, and he gave me meat. I was thirsty, and he gave me drink. I was a stranger, and he took me in. naked, and he clothed me. I was sick, and he visited me. I was in prison, and he came unto me. So all these things, the Lord is saying, like, look, you know, I was I was I was a stranger. I was thirsty. I was hungry. I needed clothes on my back, and you brethren have done these things for me. Verse 37. It says, Then shall the righteous say answer him, and saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungered and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick or in prison and came unto thee? Slacky. Got a slight cold. So that now the disciples are saying, like, wait, Lord, like, when did we ever do any of this to you? As far as we can see, we never had to do that for you. You know. And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. So if we do it to each other in the spirit of Yahweh Bashmi Ashai, then we've actually done it to Yahweh Shai. So basically what this is saying is the way we conduct ourselves and the way we treat one another is how we treat Yahweh Shai, because that brother is a reflection of Yahweh Shai. You know, every brother in this truth, every one of the 144,000, is and the elect is a reflection of Yahweh Shai. Because they're going to be doing what they can by the Lord, man. And they're going to be following the law, statutes, commandments to the best of their ability. And Yahweh Shai was written in the whole book. The whole book is written of Him. When I look at brothers, man, I see Yahweh Bashmi Shai. I see the Spirit. I literally see Yahweh Shai, man, when I look at brothers. Because it's the Spirit that quickeneth, man. You know. So when you do a kind act, or when you treat a brother according to how the scriptures has told us to treat one another, you know, you're actually showing love to Yahweh Shai, man. A fucking nigga that that still treats brothers in the truth like niggas in the world, man, because he hasn't put off the old man. He doesn't love Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is gonna spew him out of his mouth. You know, and you got a lot of that going on. You got a lot of guys that bear grudges against brothers. You got a lot of guys that defraud brothers. You know that stuff hasn't that shit hasn't come to an end. That shit didn't stop with Yeridan. That shit didn't stop with with any other camp leaders that got kicked out, or guys that got kicked out, man. There's still a lot of leaven, in the body, you know. So and there's still more work to be done. Verse 41 says, Then shall he say unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungered, and ye gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me no drink. So now the Lord is telling you, like, this is what's going to happen to the men that are acting like niggas, man. The men that can care less about the brotherhood. You know. Verse 41, I'm going to read it again. It says, Then shall he say unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire. So these guys are going to reap these nuclear missiles. These guys got missiles with a name on it, man. It says, Prepared for the devils and angels, and his angels. For I wasn't hungered. Oh, speaking of that, that doesn't mean that that's an everlasting hell, man, where you burn forever. This is talking about the so-called white man. It says, I was thirsty, and he gave me drink. I was a stranger, and he took me not in. Naked, and he clothed me not. Sick, and in prison, and he visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee an hungered, or athirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, or did not minister unto thee? Then shall he answer them, saying, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, ye did it not to me. So this is basically showing you the spirituality behind brotherhood, man. And the spirituality behind it is, as I'm gonna keep saying it over and over again, is that you treat brothers the way you would treat Yahweh Shai. You wouldn't act like an asshole to the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. You would be kind to him. You would be considerate. You know, You would be affectionate, you know. You would be, you would conduct yourself in a royal manner to the king, So we should conduct ourselves in a royal manner to our brothers, man. And the guys that aren't going to do that, they're carnal minded, man, because they don't understand that this thing is more spiritual than just going out in the highways and byways and cussing out the white man and other nations and telling our people to come back to the law, statutes, commandments, and just learning and just learning the scriptures, man. This thing is bigger than that. This thing is a fight, and we have to fight together. So those guys that didn't get that, they're gonna be those guys didn't get that. Their judgment is verse 46, and these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal. So the ones that treat their brothers like shit, you know, um, and are also treating Yahushua like shit, they're going to everlasting punishment, man. And that doesn't mean punishment is going to last forever, because Israel shall be saved with an everlasting salvation. But that's saying that you're going to be punished, and the Lord can make that punishment seem like an eternity to you, you know, even though it's in a fraction of a second, you know. Let's take an example from First Samuel 18 of Jonathan and David, man. Not a lot of the LGBT community, they use the scripture to say that David and Jonathan were homosexuals, man, and that's not what this is saying. If you read the scriptures, you would know that David was definitely not a homosexual, and Jonathan wasn't either. This is talking about the bond between brothers, man. Bond between brethren can't be broken, you know. The bond between a man and a woman, that's as fickle as a leaf blowing in the wind, But a bond between brothers that have fought together on the battlefield, you know, that have almost died together, you know, that have saved each other's lives countless times, that's a bond that can't be broken. For example, the military. Why do you think, you know, you meet men in the military and those are your best friends, man, to the end of time, you know? Because you've gone through things with them that you haven't gone through any with anyone else, That's the same thing in this truth. We go through things with each other that the world can't understand unless they've been through it. This is First Samuel 18:1. So then it came to pass when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, meaning their souls were intertwined, man. They were working together as one and the same person, so to speak. That doesn't mean they finished each other's sentences and oh, they became one flesh, meaning they had sex. No, that's not what that's saying. Meaning they were joined to one another in a fashion of best friends. You ever had a best friend and you know you're always going and doing things together. You know, you're always thinking the same thing. You know, you always got the same ideas, or the brother will do something for you, and then and then you'll say like, oh man, thanks. Damn, I like that. The brother, yeah, I knew you would. That's what that's talking about. It says, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. It, you know, So Jonathan loved David as his own soul, man. Meaning he would never do anything to David that he wouldn't want done to himself. You know? We claim we love ourselves, right? This is a generation of narcissists, right? It's all about me, 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 me. Well, take that same energy and disperse it amongst your brothers, man. You know? And love them just like you love yourself. You know? That's what this is saying. And because Jonathan loved David like he loved himself, he was willing to lay down his life for David, man. He was willing to fight by David's side and and die to keep him alive if necessary. You know? And that's the same thing with the elect. Matter of fact, that was the same thing with Yahushua, with the nation of Israel, man. Because he put his life on the line for us, man. You know? If you want to look at an example of a brother, Yahushua was the truest brother of all. This is John 15 and 14. It says, ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you. Henceforth I call you not servants, for a servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. Wait, am I? Oh, yep. Let me go back up. This is John 15:12. It says, "This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you." You know, and that's one of the greatest commandments of all. Love thy brother. Um, love thy neighbor. As thyself. And then when you go into the scriptures and read, Yahushua says the two greatest commandments of all are, you know, have no other God before me, before Yahweh, and love thy neighbor as thyself, man. Because these two commandments, um, you know, are a summary of the rest of the commandments, man. You know, because most of the commandments revolve around not worshiping another God and basically doing evil things to your brother, man, like committing adultery, like lying and stealing. You know, if you love your brother, if you love your neighbor, you wouldn't do these things. You know, niggas that commit adultery and that lie and steal, they don't love their brothers. And that means they don't love Yahweh Shai. You should be seeing a recurrent theme here. Verse 13, it says, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." You know, and that's what Yahweh Shai did for us, man. He laid down his life for us. You know, he laid down his life for us, and we are to do the same, man. That's why the scriptures say, that we were redeemed, but we were bought with a price. Our price is our lives, man. You know, that's why the scriptures say in Romans 12:1, "Give thy body as a living sacrifice," as Yahweh Shai did, man. You know, give your time and give your energy to him. Because he gave it to you. He gave his life to you. It says, "Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you. Henceforth I call you not servants, for a servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father I have made known unto you." And Yahushua has done that, man, through the power of his spirit, through the scriptures. We know all things, you know. We know the prophecies, we know how the world began, and we know how it's going to end, and everything in between, you know. So, and that's why Yahushua was able to give his life for us, man, because he loved us like his own soul, you know. Why do you think he was under so much stress? And when he cried blood, man, you know. Why do you think so? Why do you think that is, man? You know? And that's why we are to give our lives for our friends, man, for the brethren, for the brethren that's doing the work. Emphasis on doing the work, man, for Yahweh Shai. Because we are to love them as our own soul, man. It says, "Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit, that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you. These things I command you, that ye love one another," you know? And that's it, man. It's a commandment that we love one another. You know, I can't say it no better than that, man. So with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Chak double honors to the apostles and elders, grand millstone of the will, and salutations to the brethren on four corners of the earth, pushing the word, truth, and sincerity. Shalom.